Hello, everyone. Tony here from Tony's LPs Are Us. Thanks again for stopping in. As you can see from the title page, this is a blues vinyl tag 2024. This is my first vinyl tag that I've initiated. I've done numerous vinyl tags that were, response to other vinyl communities tags, and they're really a lot of fun. And it gets you to open up your collection. It gets you to maybe get some more subscriptions. It gets you to, just really maybe even learn about what you even have in your collection that you may have not even, remembered, or things that you put away years ago. And as you're looking through to answer these questions on this blues tag, you picked up things that, you said, oh, wow, I forgot about that, forgot about this. And I think people enjoy it. I think the vinyl community enjoys, which is why we do this, because we enjoy doing it, and I hope the viewers enjoy it. And I want to thank everyone again for the subscriptions and the likes, and I hope you like this, and I hope some of the VCers can take on this vinyl tag. This is my blues vinyl tag, my first vinyl tag, like I said, that I've ever initiated. It's only 13 questions and a bonus question. And I chose 13 because, a lot of these blues guys are always singing the blues. And, if I didn't have any bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. So I chose 13. And 13 kind of condenses it. There were a lot more questions I thought about, but I try to condense it. I try to make it as fun as possible and as simple as possible. And some of the questions, there may be questions that were twofold. So we kind of cheated a little bit. 13 main questions and a bonus question. So first question is, I'm going to go down the questions and then I'll go through my picks for this final tag that I've chosen. First question is, show or name your favorite blues artist, male and female. Number 2, favorite blues label or favorite obscure blues label. So that's 2 again. Show a live blues album. A bluesman or blueswoman not American, not from the U.S. Last blues album that you purchased. Number 6, a blues concert you attended. Number 7, best sounding blues album in your opinion. That's, we all have our different systems and what sounds best and what you feel is the best. So best sounding blues. Number 8, a bluesman, blueswoman, not well known in the U.S. or the world, but should be. 9, a non-musical blues item. It could be, a CD. It could be a movie, a book, a poster, what have you. Number 10, a blues collaboration, rock stars with blues artists, blues stars. Number 11, show a 45 or a 10-inch blues or a compilation of blues records like, like a K-Tel Blues, Greatest Hits Blues. Number 12, favorite Englishman blues artist. That's there's a lot to choose from. Number 13, a blues artist that crossed over to pop, rock, etc. Means it was a blues song and went over to the pop charts, charted, went over to the rock charts, charted, etc. And the bonus question is, your most unforgettable blues experience you've ever had. You could talk about it. You could show an item from that experience. On a cruise ship, you ran into Buddy Guy and you have a souvenir, or you ran into a famous blues guy when you were visiting Chicago. You went to Buddy Guy's and, Buddy Guy happened to buy you a beer, just that type of thing. It doesn't have to be a music related subject, related situation, but you get the gist of it. And I'll go over these as I go through my list. So first one, favorite blues artist and male and female. Right. So I'm going to take these here. Okay, so I'm going to pick a couple here. So one of my favorite blues guys, This man here, Albert King, incredible. This is Albert King. I'll Play the Blues for You album. My one of my top guy, of course, the great late Muddy Waters, and this is a great album. This is on Chess, Fathers and Sons, and this has just an unbelievable array of blues stars. A lot of them half the age of Muddy. They were all fans of Muddy growing up. You have Otis Spann's actually on here, Paul Butterfield, Donald Duck Dunn, Buddy Miles is on here, Paul Butterfield, like I said. And this is, I believe it's 3 sides live and one side studio. Another one of my main guys, the great Howlin' Wolf. This is a Chess record, but this is a UK Chess import. And this is the great Howlin' Wolf. And as far as the females, you got to throw in, there's so many, but what came to mind for me was Billie Holiday. And this is her blues album, the original recordings by Billie Holiday. And of course, I would be missing out on one of the greatest blues female recording artists of all time if I didn't include the pioneer of the genre, Bessie Smith. And this is a nice compilation on Columbia. I'm not going to show the labels in most cases because we have a lot to go through. So I'm going to put this down. And question number 2, favorite blues label or obscure blues label? So let me go through my list here. Pulled a couple out. This is on Muse Records, Blues Muse. And this is Crying in the Morning, an anthology of post-war blues. This is a great compilation. This has Blind Billy Tate, Sonny Yard Slim, Blind Billy Tate, Pig Whistle, who I believe was Pig Whistle was Blind Willie McTell. So that's a rare label, and I'll show you the actual label on here. It's right there. Rare blues label, obscure rather. Next one is Blues Time. This is a vintage Blues Time LP with the Eddie Cleanhead Vinson, the original Cleanhead. And I'll show you that label right there. And next I just did a variety because I'm actually doing this. When you show your tags, just show 1 or 2 if you like. Of course, we like to see as many as possible. Mississippi Blues, this is on the Yazoo label, which is not really obscure, but it's a great blues label. And of course, I would be amiss. I'm not going to show it because there's plenty there. I just showed a Chess record. But my favorite blues label would be Chess. Okay, number 3, a live blues album. Let's see, I already did a live blues album, but Fathers and Sons was live. But here's one that was one of the first blues albums I ever bought that were blues in a sense. The London Howlin' Wolf Sessions. And this is just amazing. If you don't have this, definitely pick it up. Has Clapton on it, Stevie Winwood, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts. And this is just great. As you can see the photos in there. Where Howlin' is actually, it actually has dialogue from the recording booth where he's teaching the boys Red Rooster. He's teaching Clapton how to riff on Red Rooster, and they're loving it. So you got Bill Wyman, Hubert Sumlin is on guitar, and the story was when they contracted Howlin' Wolf to do the session, all the craze was the British blues, and a lot of the blues artists were obscure here, but they were famous in the 60s because these white blues artists were raving about the American black Southern blues, Chicago or Mississippi or what have you, electric and acoustic. So they contracted Howlin' Wolf to come in and do this album, but they didn't. I think Chess Records didn't want to spend the money to send with Howlin' Hubert Sumlin, who was Howlin', if you know the story, it was Howlin' Wolf's guitar player. He may have even played guitar for Muddy Waters at one time. But anyway, you know, they didn't want to spend the money on the plane fare or whatever, lodging or whatever, because, you know, Chess Records or Marshall Chess, whoever was in charge at the time, said, you know, you're playing with Clapton, you got these other guitar players, and Howlin' said if Hubert doesn't go, I'm not going, and obviously Hubert was on that plane, so great story there. Next one is a blues man, woman, etc. that's not American. Okay, so let's go here. A blues man, of all blues men, the great John Mayall. John Mayall is still with us. He's, you know, maybe 93 at this point. I saw John Mayall with my good friend Ed Oskey at a place in New Jersey, a little dive called Club Benet, I think it was, on Route 35 down the shore, New Jersey shore, and we were actually right in front. We were buying them drinks. We sent up a few drinks to the boys in Mayall's band. So this is a great one. But John Mayall, lots of people. Okay, next one up would be number 5, last blues album that you purchased. So your most recent purchase on blues would be, for me, let's see here. Get this out. Would be this one. This was last spring's Record Store Day. This was a reissue. I didn't have this original Muddy Waters Woodstock album. This was recorded up in the Woodstock area in New York. And it's a pretty good transfer. But that's the last one I purchased. I love Muddy, so I picked this up on Record Store Day. Once in a while, they offer a Muddy reissue on Record Store Day. Blues concert, you attended. I've attended quite a bit, not necessarily traditional blues from the South, like a Muddy Waters. Obviously, I miss Muddy Waters. That's one of my regrets. But someone who I always go to see when he's around, if I have the time, and if I don't have conflicting schedules, it's Buddy Guy. I've seen Buddy Guy maybe 4 times. Here he is with the Junior Wells with Bill Wyman, but I saw Buddy Guy with other guests, but obviously I didn't see Junior Wells. But he's signed this record for me. I met him at a book signing, and I'll never forget it. I was talking to him. I told him how much I enjoyed it, and I remember years ago when I was a young lad, I bought a Buddy Guy on Rounder, and it had a fan club in right to Buddy Guy for an autograph or whatever. And I wrote to Buddy Guy, told him what a fan I was. I was probably in junior high. I wrote to him, and he sent me back a beautiful signed 8x10. So I'll never forget that. Then when I saw his book signing, you know, usually if it's a book signing, it's limited to the purchase of his book. This was his biography, which I recommend you pick up. So anyway, I have like 3 albums with me, just in case. And I start talking to him, and then I said, Mr. Guy, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. Would you sign a couple of albums for me? I'm a big fan. His handler said, no, he's not signed. He goes, I'll sign it for him. I'll sign it for the young man. So I got this signed, and I think I had one other album signed by him, which I have in my collection. So that was a great concert and one of the most memorable concerts, and Buddy Guy's the last of that line. The last is Chicago blues guys. He played with Muddy, played with Willie Dixon, Howlin' Wolf. He was a staple in the Chess catalog and that. Now, this is a one that is objective. You may have albums that you thought is the greatest sounding album. On your system, it may sound great. On my system, not so great, because that depends. But the best sounding blues album that you have, you could show it. And for me, this comes to mind. It's the Analog Productions. This is the double 45. It's not the MoFi one step. I think there's a one step on this too. But this is just the regular. This is Analog Productions of Quality Records. So Muddy Waters folk singer, double 45, just sounds great. I think this rated better than the box set when it came down to it. This was out a few years ago. And I had to wait for the repress. This was repressed, and I finally got this maybe like 8 years ago or something. So, but one of my best sounding records and one of my favorite bluesmen, the great Muddy Waters, who doesn't need any introduction. If you're out there watching, you're a Muddy fan. I didn't want to go into this, but I should have in the beginning. Without the blues, there would be no rhythm and blues, no rock and roll, and we all know that. And there was, I think Muddy said, rock and roll, the blues had a baby, and they named it rock and roll. So that's said, because crossovers on these, every British band worth its weight in the 60s, the Rolling Stones, who I didn't even cover here, which were a great originally just blues. There were so many. There's the John Mayalls. There's the early Claptons. There's the Yardbirds. There's Cream. It's all blues. It's all from America. It's all from America. The blues came from that early culture in the Deep South, and it made its way to England and back here. And you all know that story. B.B. King always said, he says, look, he goes, people saying that the white blues artists of Britain, stole our music, took our music, and B.B. King said, look, they made our music popular, and now we're able to showcase our music ourselves. So it's really something that you could read about. There's volumes of it. There's different opinions of it, but I always thought that, these British guys, they took this music that they loved, Zeppelin, etc. They took Robert Johnson, they took Muddy Waters, they took Elmore James, and they made it into something else. But we always came back to the blues. I didn't know about the blues until I bought that, the sessions, the London sessions. There's also a Muddy Waters London sessions. There's a Chuck Berry London sessions. So it's just a circle, and it's all like Duke Ellington said. There's two kinds of music. There's the good kind and the other kind, and that's my philosophy on this channel. So that's best sounding. Number 8 is Bluesman Woman, not well known but should be, and that for me was very easy. I'm sure there's a lot out there, but this guy, a white blues man from New Jersey, actually, is Walter Trout. We're all in this together, and Walter Trout is just a virtuoso. He's just an amazing blues maniac. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and check out his stuff. This is a duets album. This is my only John Mayall album because his albums are basically sold independently. I'm not sure if it's through his label or a small label, but the pressings are great. This is a double 180 gram. And I've seen Walter probably 4 times now in New Jersey. Just amazing. He started out with John Mayall. He's on a couple of John Mayall albums that I had, after the Clapton years and all that. So a blues artist that you may not know about, but check him out, Walter Trout. This is a fantastic, fantastic album. A fantastic guy, just a great, great guy. Talked to him briefly. I met his wife. His wife is always out there with him, and his son is with him now. This is another one that I'm sure you all have something you could show, a non-musical blues item. And like I said, it could be a program, it could be a T-shirt, it could be a book. And I'm going to pull out, if I can get down here. I pulled out this book, and I almost got a hernia doing it. It's huge. It probably weighs 10 pounds. Bill Wyman's Blues Odyssey. Here, Bill Wyman goes through the entire blues history. He's a blues man at heart. He starts off with some of the jazz, where blues may have started with the early jazz from the 20s and 30s, and the Depression. Just so this is a non-blues album that it's like a Bible. If you see this online, pick it up or go to your library and check this out. Bill Wyman. Okay, next up, that was number 9. Number 10 is a blues collaboration, rock stars, blues stars, blues. People like Jeff Beck, for instance, Clapton, for instance, stuff like that. So you also have the Fleetwood Mac album that early Fleetwood Mac collaborated with many blues people like Elmore James or Otis Bam. They all went to England. They all collaborated. So there's quite a bit of that. Just put these on the side here. The next question is a 45 or 10-inch or compilation record. And for a 10-inch record, I don't have a lot of blues. I have blues records that I didn't go through on 45, but this one I knew where it was because it was with my buddy Guy. This is a 10-inch. That I picked up a few years ago. So this is my 10-inch blues. This sounds really good. This is on the Silvertone label, which is a label Buddy Guy is I think is currently on. She Get It Together and Stick With Love. So that's a 10-inch. And then I have some compilations. Here you have Atlantic Blues, Chicago. Here you have Great Bluesmen at Newport. And here you have Atlantic Rhythm and Blues, 1947 to 1974. And these are all doubles. These really, this is volume 1. This has so many great folks on it. Freddie King, T-Bone Walker, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Otis Rush, Muddy Waters, Coco Taylor, another female blues artist that I didn't think about. J.B. Hutto, Freddie King, Howlin' Wolf. So just some great stuff here. Compilation. Let me see here. Number 12, favorite English blues man. That's another one where, you have a crossover because the person I'm going to pick collaborated with so many blues artists, and that's this guy here, Eric Clapton. This is one of my later Clapton purchases. This is a 45 RPM. This was produced by Glenn Johns. Really sounds really good. This is called I Still Do. There's a great documentary on this, the making of this record on YouTube as well. It's a gatefold. So, one of my favorite blues artists that's English, just a great, thing. And then we have number 13 which is the final leg of this journey. This journey that I said has crossed so many different paths: Chess Records, B.B. King, Otis Rush, Clapton, Jeff Beck, Fleetwood Mac, early Fleetwood Mac, just crisscrosses. Coco Taylor, who we just mentioned. This is a blues artist who crossed over and had a chart, a high chart in the pop field or in the rock field. And for that, I'm going to pick the great B.B. King, now appearing at Ole Miss. Great album. It's on MCA Records, a nice gatefold. You know, B.B. King charted with Lucille. And every day I have the blues and you know, et cetera, et cetera. So you see what's on here. Don't Answer the Door. Darling, You Know I Love You. The Thrill Is Gone. Yeah, Lucille's his guitar. The Thrill Is Gone was that crossover that I was thinking of here. 3 o'clock in the morning, but The Thrill Is Gone was just a huge crossover. That's the great B.B. King. It's really, really good cover art on here. And B.B. King, of course, collaborated. I didn't pull these because so many with U2 on their movie soundtrack. He did a couple songs with them, talked to them, and man, he loved Bono and obviously the whole U2 three guys at U2 with Bono. They all loved B.B. King, obviously. Now the next question, which is a bonus question, is your most unforgettable blues experience. You could talk about it, you could show an item. And for me, I don't have a lot of experiences with blues that, you know, knocked me off, because I'm at that age where, you know, I've seen a lot of the white blues artists like the Allman Brothers, Clapton, and Cream. I've seen, I saw John Mayall, but I haven't seen the traditional bluesmen from Chicago live, because they were a lot of them passed away. My most recent is I love to see Buddy Guy when I can. He's, like I said, the last. But this was a really cool night for me, or 2 nights. But this was really cool when I met Honey Boy Edwards. Now, Honey Boy Edwards goes back to Robert Johnson. So Honey Boy Edwards is a Robert Johnson protege, or Robert Johnson was his mentor. And here I have his CD on here, which is Roman and Ramblin'. And I saw, I went to see Honey Boy Edwards twice. This one where I had him autograph it. He autographed the CD for me. He was over at Larry Holmes's place in Easton, Pennsylvania. The great champ Larry Holmes had a bar and grill called Larry Holmes's Place. And one night I saw advertised that Honey Boy Edwards was going to be there playing guitar with an accompaniment. And I got to meet Honey Boy Edwards. He was very old at the time, crouched over, spoke, Southern English. It was real, gritty. He came out with his guitar. He had a white guy accompanying him, his manager, who helped him around. But it was great to see him. And then later on, I saw him at the Patriots Theater at the War Memorial, Trenton, New Jersey. And that was on January 24th, which is almost an anniversary, 2008. And then he passed away not too long after that. But this was an unforgettable experience. And I've got that autograph right there, which he was nice enough to do for us that night at the club. And we were, I was sitting 3 feet away from Honey Boy. And he talked about Robert Johnson. You can go online and watch his interviews on YouTube, where he talks about how he used to, roam around as a young teen, listening to the blues, listening to the blues man. And Robert Johnson was right there with him. So he even has stories about how Robert Johnson met his death, which there's many stories I'm not going to go into. There's 3 or 4 stories on how we think Robert Johnson died. He died so young. But Honey Boy Edwards talks about Robert Johnson, and I got to meet him, got to shake his hand. So that's a real treasure. So that's it. There's 13 questions, and there's one bonus question, which is the last one. Most unforgettable blues experience. Talk or show an item about it if you have an item about it, or just talk about your story like I just did. So thanks a lot. Stay safe out there. I really want to thank everyone. If you haven't subscribed and you feel like it, please do so. Tony's LPs are us, and we'll just keep rocking along. So I hope you like this, and I just want to do a shout out to all the VCers who do this. I'm not going to name anyone in particular, but I watch, probably 20 of them regularly. I subscribe to everyone I can to help support their channel, and I think you guys should do the same. Whoever does these, whoever picks up on this vinyl blues tag, I hope you subscribe to that channel. I hope they subscribe to the other channels as well. Keep it going. It's a passion that we have, and it's a passion that the viewers love to watch other people's collections, and that's what it's all about. It's like I said, there's two kind of music, there's two kind of music, the good kind and the other kind, and we're all about the good kind. So keep rocking, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, and like I said, stay safe, keep the blues alive. Take care. Bye.